Bippity-dee-dee, bippity-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, doodle-doo.
I'm in Bangkok, travel, food and lifestyle. He's the one to go to it, big silent bass. Loud Hawaiian shirts and shades, sandals and shorts. That's it, peculiar, great by nature.
Sawadee khap, my orangutan friends, and Puan Kun Thai. And today we're going to be making a cocktail. Why not? Now, this is a cocktail based on the Grumpy Old Man. Now, Grumpy Old Man, you use bourbon and you use lime juice and ginger ale. It's basically like a bourbon mule, excuse me. But when I saw the Grumpy Old Man, I thought, bourbon. Could you not change that out for whiskey? And I looked up the drink, and there's already a drink where the bourbon's been replaced by whiskey. So I thought, well, if we're changing the whiskey, could we change the ginger ale to something else that you put in a Grumpy Old Man? And I thought, well, what about ginger beer instead? Would that change it? Would it make it dirty? Like a dirty old man rather than a grumpy old man? And anybody who was around in the 60s and 70s will remember the dirty old man from Steptoe and Son. You remember that TV series? Anyway, so I thought, well, if I make the cocktail and it's never been done before, I'll call it the dirty old man. But unfortunately, there's already a cocktail called the Dirty Old Man. In fact, I'll put the ingredients for the Dirty Old Man in now. Okay, so there you go. I can't do a Dirty Old Man because it's already been done in America. I think it was it in America? Yeah, which city? Oh no, Brooklyn, I think, in New York. So I read. Right, so the next thing I thought, well, I could do an Albert Steptoe. So that was where we're going with this. Well, that's where we are going with it. So what is an Albert Steptoe? So it's going to be very similar to a Grumpy Old Man, but we're changing out a couple of ingredients. First of all, the main alcohol is going to be whiskey, and we're going with Johnny Walker. So let's just put that over there. The reason we're going with Johnny Walker, films in the 60s and 70s, when people drank whiskey, it always seemed to be Johnny Walker, or so it seemed. In fact, was it Carry On Doctor or one of them where Sir James was a doctor in the tropics and he had a cabinet full of Johnny Walker, and it was because he was sponsored by them basically, so he put them all in there and he got money and whiskey for doing that. Okay, so we're putting in Johnny Walker because it's like the poor man's whiskey. Obviously, everybody drinks single malts, don't they, if they're a bit posh? Right. Instead of ginger ale, we're going with alcoholic Krabby's ginger beer. Okay, so we're going to swap that out. I don't know what the percentage is on that, alcohol-wise, but it's going to make the cocktail stronger than a Grumpy Old Man. Okay? And as I say, rag and bone men, they need that extra alcohol to keep them warm in the winter. So I'll put the percentage up for that. Then the next ingredient, you're going to need some, what we in Thailand called manao, some lime juice. Okay, got some limes here to show you. Right, so that's your basic ingredients. Okay, so what you need then is a glass. I haven't got a straight glass. I'm going to be using this, and we're going to top that up with ice, and we're going to throw everything into it, and we're going to make our Albert Steptoe. And we're going to taste it and see what it tastes like. Now, I should put a little bit of garnish in, a bit of lemon, but the Grumpy Old Man doesn't do that. They don't actually put a slice of lemon into a Grumpy Old Man. And because I've got these very, very small Thai Did I say lemon? Lime. Uh, I'm not going to put it in because it's a bit of a waste of time, really, isn't it? They're that small. Okay, I'm going to move all these ingredients out of the way. We're going to put this together and we're going to have a taste. So bear with me a minute. Okay, so I've just filled the glass up with ice. There you go. Right, so the next thing we're going to put in there is the whiskey. Now, I'm saying this in ounces, but because I haven't got anything with ounces on, I've got a couple of shot glass, but they've got no measures on, and I'm a bit hopeless when it comes to things like that. I've worked out what the ounces are in tablespoons, so I'll try and give you that information as well. So first, we're going to go in with the Johnny Walkers, which I've measured out there. Right, so you can either go with 1.5 or 2 ounces. I'm going with 1.5, which is 3 tablespoons. Okay, so we're going to stick that in. Next, we're going to go in with the lime. Now, because I've only used 3 tablespoons or 1.5 ounces, I'm going to go lower with the lime so it balances out. Now with the lime, which I've got in this glass, it's already been squeezed, fresh lime by the way, you put in 0.5 or 1 ounce, which equates to 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons. So I've got 1 tablespoon of lime there. So that's going in. Next, I'm going to put in the Krabby's real ginger beer. Okay, and then you use this to top it up. So this is what would replace your ginger ale, except we're going for that extra hit of alcohol. Here we go. Topping it up now. Right, now you're supposed to drink that through a straw. I do have a straw, but I haven't got one at the moment. So, through the magic of editing, I'll go and do that, and then we'll give it a taste. Okay, so I've got my straw. Stick it in there like that. Now, I have no idea what this is going to taste like. An Albert Steptoe. Okay, let's give it a go. Ooh, it's very tangy. Yeah, that's quite refreshing as a cocktail, I would say. Now, you have to like ginger, and you're going to have to like whiskey to enjoy this. It does feel a bit dirty. Yeah, dirty old man, the old Albert Steptoe. That's really refreshing. It's kind of dry as well, which is a bit strange. Okay, so, am I going to give that a thumbs up? I think I am. I actually like that. I would order that in a bar. Okay, so, there we have it. We've got an Albert Steptoe. So, I'll put all the measurements and ingredients up on the screen now. In case you want to try this yourself, you want an Albert Steptoe, aka you. Dirty Albert. Yes. I can't put any pictures up, things like that, of Albert Steptoe, because all the pictures are owned by the BBC and it's infringement of copyright. Anyway, so there you go. Now that's the Albert Steptoe. There is another cocktail. I put this into, I think it was ChatGPT, it might have been Gemini, and I asked if I wanted to do a cocktail for a Harold Steptoe, which is the son in the Steptoe and Son. It was different ingredients, and they had vermouth in there and dandelion and burdock. So that was quite intriguing. I don't have any vermouth in, but if I do get some, I might try and do a son, basically. So we've got the Albert Steptoe, and I'll try and do the Harold at some point. Anyway, I'm going to go off and enjoy my cocktail, and we'll go to the outro. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Cheers. Adios, amigos, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.